Is that almost like, because I've watched this thing about patents and people say, well, you got to get the patent and stuff like that, and they all worry about that. They worry about that stat more than actually getting it to market.
Right.
And if you've ever watched a Shark Tank or any Dragon's Den, they said, sales, Mark Cuban's, sales solve everything.
Right.
So, yeah, you may not be patented yet, but if you can sell it, that means you have proof of concept. But if you're sitting there like, oh, I'm going to keep this, I'm going to hide it, I'm not going to release it, I'm not going to tell anybody about it, stuff like that, but then how do you know it really is going to work? So
right.
it's like,
Yeah, you got to get it out there, get the feedback. And even though from a school perspective, we're not directly selling a product, but we are. We sell a service. And the product is the content and the education. People don't pay directly for it, right? Because we're in a public school setting, but we are selling.
But we're selling something because we do have school choice, so it's
Right.
we're trying to sell, why do you select us over our competitors?
Right.
Because you have 3 other competitors you can pick from.
Right.
And why would you pick us over everybody else? And that goes down to my core thing is, number one is, I think parents look at it from the safety aspect. And I think from a student's aspect, what I've gotten from a lot of students, it's fun, but not fun like wiling out fun.
Right.
Not where we're like, it's chaos, because that's not really what it is.
Yeah.
But I think it's just a level of where it seems like exciting. Where it's like, oh, it's a really cool place and stuff like that. And it actually goes back down to my core thing is like, even the bus ramp, even down to the bus ramp. I even think our bus drivers, inside the bus, it should say East Lee County High School.
Yeah.
I mean, you walk in the bus ramp, and my cameraman here is like the same way, right?
Mm-hmm.
D-Rock, my new D-Rock. But when you drive up to the school, you don't see a logo.
Right.
You don't see anything that recognizes you at East Lee County High School. Nothing prepares you to walk in this door. I mean, some people equate it to a jail. And so they walk up, that's their first impression. They're not excited, they're not ready to go. So, small things like, East Lee County logos on the side. You see a bunch of Pauls all over the gate. I saw that big jaguar, the cup in the fence with his jaguar eyes waiting for you. Hey, even a fire-breathing jaguar in the center of Lake Morales out there.
Right.
I mean, how cool would that be? Here you are, a freshman. It's your first day. You get on the bus. You come through this gate. The gate says East Lee County High School. Yeah, it's stupid. Yeah, there's a jaguar sitting in the front of the middle of this lake, and all of a sudden it breathes fire for the first time.
It gets your attention.
It got your attention. I mean, it's almost like, like Tampa Bay Stadium, where you see an entire pirate ship stuck in the side of it. And you're sitting there like, holy mackerel, there is, and the cannon's fired.
Right.
And I was saying, like, that is the ambiance. I'm going to say that ambiance. You see the logo, you see the stuff, you're ready to come in. And I think it should just sell, not that you have to have somebody out there encouraging the kids, but when they look at it, and it just talks by itself. That's a footprint right there. Because, like, if we go back to that news anchor out there, and I'm not busting any news, but, like, in the background of that, easily you could have put something in the background where somebody walks up with a bulletin board or something like that, like, hey, look at all the programs we got here.
Yeah.
And, just be annoying.
Right.
But also, too, when she's she's looking at the school, that's free advertisement. I like to have all the academies, all the stuff we do on that we have a big blank space right on the side of the gym. And right there, you're selling it. You're selling the place.
That would actually be a really great idea. And what you just said about the billboard sign, right? With the news guy, that'd be part of the addressing it. If you had something ready to go, so every time somebody from the news showed up and they showed up for something negative,
and they were one of those like,
and you walk out there with them and you address it right away. Immediately, don't hide. Right? That's usually what ends up happening, right? Because we end up hiding. We're not allowed to make comments, right? We're not allowed to talk to the news. All right, but if you go out there, somebody from the administration team, and just say, we're going to put out, an official message. By the way, we have these academies, and we have.
Or even if the message is on the brochure, and you have to look at the brochure,
right?
Like, so they're showing the brochure, and here's the message. It's, you're just hitting it. You're secretly in front of them, stuff like that. And you tell them, look, anytime you need a news story, you come back here. We're gonna put our logo on the side of your van here if we can.
Yeah.
You'd be the first one to every story. I'd be like, hey, as long as you roll around with our stuff, we're good and stuff like that. So I was like, I think that's the digital footprint that you have to control.
Address it in a way. Again, back to the paparazzi. famous people, actors, actresses, singers, musicians, whatever it is. The paparazzi that portray them in the most negative light is usually because those are the ones that are the most negative with paparazzi.
Right.
But the ones that tend to joke with them and stuff like that, even when things are a little bit negative, but they still kind of joke with the paparazzi, they give them a little bit of
breathing room.
Yeah,
They give them a little bit more.
breathing.
They're still going to be after them,
Yeah.
but I think they give them more of a breathing room.
But if they work with them and they address them on a regular basis and they have that kind of cordial play back and forth with them, on that one day that it's like, hey, give me some slack today. A lot of the paparazzi actually, they're going to click, but they're still going to back off.
They're going to back off.
But that one that's always grabbing cameras and you can't get to them, it doesn't matter what they're pleading. That paparazzi is going to do everything they can legally and sometimes illegally to stay in their face.
All right, you're not going to get rid of them. They're just a necessary evil that's going to happen. I'm not saying they're evil. Paparazzi aren't evil, but I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, they have a job to do like everybody
they
else.
have a job.
But-
They're feeding their family.
Yeah.
They're feeding their family.